Micah Parsons, and you and I talked about this a little bit earlier in the show, or earlier before show with Gavin and some of the G-Bag guys. It was said yesterday, Ian Rappaport does his insider reporting, the Cowboys aren't ruling out trading him. That's based off of what he's saying. Whereas, and Stephen Jones says, I don't see a scenario where Micah doesn't have a star on the side of his helmet. All right. Now, again, what's he going to say? It's not like Steve's the most, transparent exactly. Other than saying, hey, well, I'll say this. He's more transparent than Jerry in the sense that, hey, it's going to be tight again this offseason.
He'll be transparent as far as roster building, but he'll never really call a player out and be like, Parsons ain't going to be with us.
No, he won't, right? I mean, he's going to be very guarded about how he says things. Yeah. And so, we get that. So that rumor obviously was the hot rumor yesterday because, look, you can only get so excited about the Cowboys beating the Panthers.
I think the speculation stems from Steven kind of talking about in that article that Ian put together of you can only pay when it comes to roster building. Steven's like, you can only pay so many guys.
Yes.
Paying 3 guys top of the market. He kind of was saying it without saying, in my opinion, a little bit of buyer's remorse. Like, I can't be paying Dak, Micah, Trayvon, all this. Like, something's got to give.
No, they got some serious buyer's remorse.
And I don't think it's from CeeDee Lamb. I think we can all agree everyone is happy about CeeDee, want him to get paid. He's obviously working out. Top 3 in all of the receiving categories.
And he's been banged up this year.
And he's been banged up and still playing through it. Terrence Steele, Diggs, you can kind of speculate they're higher dollar, been injured.
Terrence Steele's been, since you moved Zach Martin out of the lineup, and since you put, but I don't think he's worth,
he's your highest paid lineman right now. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's not been playing. I think he's been playing better, but as far as big contracts.
Look, I don't think you're tripping on Terrence Steele, considering that you've made a concerted effort to run the ball. You got rid of Zach. You didn't get rid of Zach Martin, but Zach Martin gets put on the IR. His season's over. Suddenly you move that right guard spot. Now all of a sudden that your running game looks totally different. Your quarterback's got time to throw the football. Now again, you've played not great defenses, so that certainly hasn't hurt either. But Terrence Steele, for as much of a factor of question mark as he was at the beginning of the year, he has looked much better in the last 4 or 5 games, as this offensive line has looked a lot better these last 4 or 5 games. But to your point, Stephen Jones talking about, how can you pay all these guys? And, of course, the next big contract up for bid would be Micah Parsons. Now, again, is he going to get traded? They say the Cowboys aren't opposed to it. This is what Micah said on his podcast today about the possibility of him getting traded.
We're going to be a Cowboys for life. We're going to figure out a way for me to be a Cowboy for life. And I think, Jay and Steven see it that way too. So I'm going to be real excited, at the end of this year. I hope the fans are going to be excited because I think it's going to be a great offseason. I do think we're going to attack free agency. I think it's going to be a great year, because I think we got the pieces, man. I get guys is going to, to me, I look at it like the reason why we want to finish this year so good, and we're already missing starters, and some of those starters we're not going to get back to the end of next year. So if we could finish good and keep playing great defense now, imagine towards next year when we're not, 6-8, and we're 9-5 or 10-6, whatever the record is, right? Imagine we're that record and we're saying, hey, we're still about to get Trayvon back. Hey, we're still about to get Demo back. And all those guys got all those good reps and that experience. And now you combine with those really good guys that's coming back who played so well with guys who's been working and grinding and are, have the same values and commitment to this team. And you say, yo, we're going to be really good come playoffs. We're really going to start clicking. So it's going to be a super exciting year. That's why I say Cowboys Nation, it look bad right now and we turning it up, but it's about to go to a whole nother level. So I hope y'all really, pay attention and y'all wake up because it's about to get real exciting. So Cowboys Nation, y'all better wake up real fast.
I mean, he's been in Jerry classes, the salesmanship out of this guy. You think this team has only lost 2 games this year? Y'all better wake up.
I'll say this. I do appreciate his enthusiasm.
Hey, he loves that star.
He really – the one thing I'll say about Micah Parsons, since he's come back, regardless.
Even when he was injured. Remember when he was injured, he was talking on the pod about.
He was. Now, at the same time, too, he was also, when they were getting their ass beat, he's also laughing on the sidelines or what have you. So it did look a little, and there were a couple times after games where they lost, and he didn't talk after games, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But, and we said this a handful of times, despite off the field conversations, or maybe we wanted to hear a little bit different things from him or whatever, I've never questioned his drive on the field. That is one thing about Micah Parsons, I will say. Now, he's done it in games where, like you said, you're 6-8 right now. All right.
I think it's also what has been the narrative, and I don't know if he's necessarily put this to rest, and I don't know if he has a chance. Is the narrative around Micah Parsons has been a little bit of a front runner, a little bit of a, hey, when things are easy, when you're ahead, it's easy to talk like this. And I think kind of almost on the flip of it, there's not really any expectations right now of this Cowboys team. You're not vying for a playoff spot. You're not right on the cusp. You're not playing some big game that's going to decide the division. This is just kind of everyone's counted you out, and I appreciate his effort, but I think I'm not learning anything new about Micah as far as him as a football player. His effort, I will say, he's kind of stepped up, and when Nick Harris even talked about that, like there was questions about how committed he was in the offseason, the classroom stuff, and I think he's shown that he's at least trying to, and he wants to be a Dallas Cowboy, and is not 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not nonchalant, not like, it's whatever, next season. He's not acting like that. He seems to be the truest Cowboy right now, but I'm not learning anything new about Micah right now when this team is not great and they're playing against not great football teams.
So he's got 7.5 sacks since he's come back from injury, right? So he came back against the Eagles, right? The game they lost 34-6, a game that they were in or trailing at halftime, and then of course got their doors blown off in the second half, and that's when everything kind of went to bleep after that. Then he gets another 2 sacks against the Commanders, a game they won. Had another 1.5 sacks against the New York Giants, who were terrible. Didn't have any sacks. And had only 2 quarterback hits. Now, he did get some pressures and what have you against Cincinnati last week. And then you had Carolina, where, again, he had, just an absolute phenomenal game. 2 sacks, 4 tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and 2 quarterback hits.
Can I give you some Micah Parsons numbers as well to kind of summarize what you just said?
Please do.
Cowboys star rusher Micah Parsons had his 14th career game with 2+ sacks, which is tied for the 4th most by a player in his first 4 seasons in NFL sack history. Mm-hmm. The only players ahead of him, Reggie White, Richard Dent, and J.J. Watt.
I mean, those are Hall of Famers.
And also, as far as this season, the last 7 weeks, the NFL leader in QB hits, per Mr. Bobby Belt, friend of the program, I think you can say.
We absolutely can say that.
T.J. Watt, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Micah Parsons all got 13. The only players with more QB hits over the last 7 weeks, Myles Garrett with 15, and Osa Odighizuwa leading the league with 16.
I saw that.
Osa's gone.
More than likely. I mean,
his price just went up. He's been balling over the last 7 weeks.
He's played well. I mean, no, that defense has definitely stepped up. But like I said, I mean,
he's gone.
But let's also not get carried away. I mean,
he's gone.
Let's look at who. Again, I'll give you credit. You beat Washington, all right, and you beat them at Washington. But the Giants are terrible, Cincinnati's terrible, and Carolina's terrible. All right, and so and then the other sack you had was against Cleveland.
He's got a 13.6 pass rush win rate right now at the defensive tackle position.
Oh,
Osa's gone. He's going to be out of our price range. He just outpriced himself the last couple weeks.
Well, let's see what happens. I mean,
let's put some money on it.
I'll tell you what. Let's let the last 3 games play out before we start getting.
I don't think it matters.
Away.
Unfortunately, I want him to be here. I mean,
you showed out against Carolina.
Yeah, he's gone.
I mean, like I said,
somebody like the Titans or Washington, they're going to pay him more than Stephen Jones and Jerry are willing to. I can almost 98% guarantee that he's gone.
I don't disagree. Let's see what he does over these next 3 games.
It kind of puts credence on what Brian's been saying about Trey Lance. Have you heard his take on Trey Lance on why he's not playing?
Oh, because they don't want him to look good, so that the way the price goes up. I don't disagree.
I actually like that. When he heard that, a light bulb went off. I said, you know what? I haven't thought of that. They don't want that price to go up. They know Cooper's probably going to be gone. We can bring Trey back for the free. We are the only ones that really know what he looks like. If people want to look at tape, they're going to be looking at preseason tape where he didn't look good. So no one's going to offer him a huge contract in Trey Lance. We can bring him back for the cheap. He'll be the backup. Maybe he does something. Maybe he doesn't. But either way, we don't have to outbid another NFL team.
I'm surprised they haven't offered him a contract yet already. I mean, it's not like the price. I mean, I can't imagine the price is going to fluctuate much. I mean, you're only bidding against yourself. I mean, what's he making now? $4.5 million.
I'll get you an exact.
You know, I think he's making. I think he's making in the neighborhood of $4.5 million. I mean, hell, I'd throw another $4.5 million. I don't know what the going rate is for
Trey
backup
Lance's
quarterbacks.
Cap hit is a little over $5 million.
Okay, so yeah, he's in that ballpark.
5.3.
No, I don't disagree. I think that I heard when you're saying that what Broad said, I think I heard that the other day as well. So